السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعلني وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. Inshallah, we are going to start, not right now, but we are going to start the story of Mary in the Quran. It's very exciting for me, but we left out one more slide, one more verse related to Adam, the story of Adam in the Quran. So inshallah, we will go over it first and then start the discussion or studying the Mary. So the verse, which is chapter 14 and 22, verse 22, tells us the result of following satanic inspirations in our life while we are living in this world, and the description of it in the hereafter, but we will refer it to our present day life experience, inshallah. Yeah. When everything has been decided, قضي الأمر has been decided, it means everything became clear from God's perspective. إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق فأخلفتكم. Sorry. إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق. Satan will say, God gave you a true promise. وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ. Satan will say, God gave you a true promise. I too made promises, but they were false ones. So I had no power over you except to call you, and you responded to my call. So don't blame me. Blame yourself. It's very فلا تلوموني ولومي أنفسكم ولوموا أنفسكم. Sorry. Blame yourself. I cannot help you, nor can you help me. I reject the way you associated me with God before. Surely the wrongdoers will suffer a painful punishment. This verse is full of wisdom. Start from the beginning. When everything has been decided, this is described as يوم الدين. Here is قضي الأمر. But يوم الدين means the day of judgment. What we understand from the day of judgment, everything became so clear from God's perspective. What does it mean? Only God knows the reality of creation, so he knows what is going on in human mind, in human beings, in my heart, in my feelings. He is the creator of them. He must know it. Or let me put the sentence in another form. The one who created me and the one who created my feelings must know what's going on there. I think it is clear. Must know. That is called exactly the real meaning of creation, which means the reflections of the qualities of the creator in the world, reflections of the qualities of the creator in this world. I know how much I can grasp it with the ability given to me by my creator. But this is his property. Of course, we have to be very careful in this matter. The original qualities which manifest here in the world must be known by the one who holds it, who has it, or who has them, all the qualities. I only know the reflection part of it. But what we have to remember from this, everything, the expression, everything became clear, everything perfectly understood. So the source of the qualities manifested in the world must be known in fullest sense by its owner. But what is it to do with me? As far as I am concerned, I have to look at myself. How? I have my feelings, I have my mind, I have my memory, and I have some knowledge in my memory. But we know that this knowledge is or must be known by the creator of my memory. So let's put it in this way. God knows what the reality or the owner of the qualities must know the real aspect of the qualities, but at the same time must know what I know as well, because my memory, my brain, my power to reflect is created by him. So he knows what the reality is. He knows the reality of what I know. So this is what in the Qur'an's expression, قُضِيَ الْأَمْرِ, but it refers to Maliki Yawmiddin, which we recited in Fatiha every day, Maliki Yawmiddin. So that is why the discussion between we human beings and Satan is described by God in such a way that, of course, this argument is just an metaphoric teaching or allegorical teaching. So we know that we haven't been there, but God is telling me that, look, what you are doing now, if you follow satanic inspirations, of course we know satanic inspirations is not something, any option which doesn't represent any reality, any truth at all. So if you follow not the truth, but falsehood, false claims, baseless claims, what will happen to you? It is described to us, presented to us in the very vivid, attractive scenario. then in this scenario, Satan says, God gave you a true promise. Why? The option in reality, in creation, that is what the Creator promises me. For example, when I look at the universe, the way the universe comes into existence tells me that it is created by the absolute, by an absolutely powerful one, by an absolutely knowledgeable one, etc., etc. That is true. Why? I can observe it in creation. That is obvious. But I too make promises. They are not created. For example, saying that tree is the source of eternity. How do you know? Is there any evidence? The tree gets old, it dies. Yeah, matter continuously being changed in the hands of the Creator. It cannot sustain itself, let alone it will give me eternity. It's so obvious. But they were false ones. You had the ability to acknowledge, to understand, realize that my promises are all false. You have the ability to understand it. They have no nature. There is nothing nature. Out there, the creation. What is created, everything out there are created beings. So Satan says, you have the ability to know what truth is, what falsehood is. So I promise you falsehood, you took it, you followed it, because your free will must have two options. One is true and another option is false. 100%, both of them. I had no power over you except to call you. It means give you the option. I didn't force you. I didn't come with an evidence. That's what Qur'an keeps saying, that here also. ما كان لي عليكم من سلطان. I have no sultan. It means no authority, no power, no authority over you. That whether this authority comes from the evidence. Evidence is the authority. For example, when you have your ID card, state issued, let's say an authority issued ID card, if someone asks you, what is your name? And my name is Ali. How can I know? Here is the evidence. And my ID card authorizes me to claim that my name is Ali. That is evidence, because there is evidence about it for anything. But Satan says, your name is not Ali but Ahmed. And evidence, there is no evidence, but this is an alternative. So you may tell a truth, saying my name is Ali, or you may tell a lie. I'm giving you the option, the lie, which doesn't have any reality, Ahmed. So I have no authority means I have no power. It is translated there, but Sultan is not really the best translation. I have no authority over you to accept you, call you. Just call you. So call you means give you the option. Okay. Offered you. And you responded to my call. That is your choice, of course. But I have no authority. We should never, ever. Satan keeps me reminding this. This alternative. Sorry. This is alternative. It doesn't mean, for example, you go out, for example, to buy something. There is an alternative to buy, for example, vegetables, veggies. You go there, greengrocer, and ask for medicine. Medicine? For what? There is a greengrocer. It's not a drugstore. But you know that it's not a drugstore, but you go there, deliberately ask. That is your choice. It's not a good example, but somehow emphasizes on the importance of it, that Satan doesn't come with an authority, it means with an evidence, really. So don't blame me. Yeah. فلا تلوموني. So don't blame me. It is very interesting. Satan is innocent. He's doing his job. So I cannot help you, nor can you help me, because I am a created being like you. I cannot create anything as opposed to God's creation. And you cannot create anything as opposed to God's creation. If something is not created, you cannot create it and make it real. Like I cannot create it. We are at the same level of existence. I reject the way you associated me with God alone. Oh, that is very important. Yeah. Yeah. إني كفرت بما أشركتموني. It means we say Satan represents non-existence. That is correct. But some people think that Satan is producing something. Satan is making something. No, it is just non-existence. Look, I reject the way you associated me with God before in the world, when you were in the world. It means whatever Satan offered, you said, this is what Satan offered me, and it has some reality. But Satan cannot create any reality. No one can create any reality. We cannot create any reality. We just use what is created. It is very important to notice this kind of things, as if satanic inspirations are having power over us, authority over us, and they have some truth, but we should not really go after them. For example, yes, you know, food feeds me. Why? When I eat it, it feeds me. That is satanic. It satisfies me. That is satanic. Why? Because food cannot feed you. It is created in this way only. It cannot know you. It cannot give existence to any nourishment, anything. It is created in this way. So Satan says, you know, if you drink from this water, then you will be satisfied. Why? Because water satisfies you. Don't you know that? It is nature of the water to satisfy you. That's what they are saying. Those people who say withhold the satanic ideas. Water satisfies us. The sun is the source of life. Yeah, rain is the source of life. Rain gives plants and animals life. That's what they keep saying it. And Satan says, No, 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 no. Uh, I am not as mushrik as you are. Because I represent non-existence. So I am not claiming that I created something, I made something real. But you gave my suggestions, my whisperings, a reality. You treated them as real. That is your choice. This is amazing. The Quran really deciphers the human life in the best way. What my psychological situation is exactly. There is no need to blame Satan. When you go on Hajj, when you throw the stone to Satan, you know, there are stones there. Those of you who have been there know it. If you haven't, not very significant, just a stone, bricks put on top of each other. And the Saudi government made it on purpose and ugly looking. They didn't make it out of a marble stone. So they made it very ugly looking stones. And that is not important. But to me, instead of, I mean, physically, it is just a representation. It is just an, metaphoric thing, figurative things doing there. But we should have in our mind, if you haven't been, or if you have been, but if you haven't been, be careful. Inshallah, you may go one day. You should have in your mind, instead of those stones, put yourself, your ego. That is what we learn from this Quran. When I throw the stone to the um, I, the word didn't come to my mind. To the, come on, oh, the representation of Satan. It is, come on, the word didn't come. Bismillah. Allahu Akbar. Okay. And, what was the word? Who remember? Who will help me about this word? Mm. Oh, it is okay. Uh, long-standing stone like this, like a, oh, come on.
Like a pillar?
Sorry?
Like a pillar?
Pillar. Yes, pillar. Yeah. So we have to put ourselves there. If we externalize Satan, that is an interesting point to notice. If we externalize Satan and we keep throwing the stone to something externally existing there, we fail. Hajj fails. Your performance of pilgrimage fails. Why? You just stone your ego. Because Satan is not mushrik even. Well, you know, inni kafartu. I denied. I am a kafir, if you like, if you want to understand with the rhetoric of the Muslim youth. I am a kafir of your shirk. Oh, you see, Satan turned out to be a perfect abd, performing his duty. Yeah, but if you externalize it, then we miss the point. If we do that, we miss the point. So inshallah, we won't. We will be careful. So God says, surely the wrongdoers, the alimun, will suffer a painful punishment. Who is zalim here? Wrongdoer? Satan or human beings? Of course. Satan says, I am not mushrik. Satan says, God created me. Even I got the permission to do this job from my God. He gave me this permission. It means he authorized me to give you false, baseless options. That is my job. Why do you get angry with me? Get angry with yourself. So we should not really, we should not really externalize Satan if we want to benefit from the teachings of the Quran. Unfortunately, all these symbolic teachings presented to us in our early age, maybe as a child it is entertaining, but early age, and this symbolic teaching remained as if a real event took place in our mind. So Satan is there, angel is there outside, and I am here innocent, but sometimes angels come to me, sometimes Satan comes to me, and I follow Satan. I have, as if, yes, I have free will to do, but they are equal, as if they are equal. 50% from Satan, 50% from angels. No, 100% from angels, 0% truth from Satan. That is what the symbolic teachings of the Quran teach us. Of course, we have other, I skipped a lot of the verses concerning Adam because we are studying, either some of them we studied or we are going to study the rest of Adam's story in section Araf. And in section Araf, we have to emphasize on those verses while we are studying the section Araf on Mondays, inshallah. That's why I skipped all of them, but this verse is not there, and also every single phrase in this word is very important, as you understood it. Inshallah, we can benefit where Allah give us the opportunity, understanding, right understanding of the Quran and benefiting from it. Now, I will stop here. All the story of Adam finished, inshallah, and we will go to the story of Maryam, inshallah. So while I am here, keeping the story of Adam in the screen, any question, concern, any comment, anything, any of your ideas? No? Okay, I'll stop this and go back.
I have a question. Assalamu alaikum. So this is great what was shared. I'm just wondering, so everything is within me, so what do I need to control myself then? Because it seems that the satanic notion is within me, my negative side, my dark side, my ego, and so I think that's the, at least for me, the human journey. I find myself in situation and events, and it's really challenging to even sometimes control myself with things. So how do I just calm myself down, or how do I stay like chilled or relaxed, if you will.
I mean, relaxed, did you say?
Yeah, like chilled. Like, okay, yeah, exactly. Calm, satisfied.
How do you?
Mm-hmm.
That's your choice. Freedom. No one can force you. You have to choose freedom. You have to choose, relaxation. But practically, how are we going to do it? Of course, I'm not a psychotherapist at all. I have no idea about it. But from my own experience, suddenly, if something happens like this, I stop. That's my practical choice, practical solution. I stop and say, who are you, Ali? To myself, who are you? You are a created being. You have a creator. All right? So what you have to do, seek refuge with the creator. What does it mean? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. There is an hadith as well in this. If you get out of control a little bit or more, doesn't matter, sit down and say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This phrase, you should, definitely, you know the meaning of it. I seek refuge with God from the assaults of whisperings of Satan. That's what symbolically means, whisperings on my egoistic side, but doesn't have any reality. So God has the ownership over me. I'm not God. I'm not going to decide about future. We say Satan will come from the front, will come from the back. Yeah, it means I'm not going to really control the back. It means what happened in the past, and I won't really guarantee what will happen in the future. Who am I? What am I doing? What am I doing? Nonsense. Just remember your creator, that you are a created being and he is the one who is going to decide. So think what he offered you to do in these circumstances. And first of all, leave aside, that's my teaching to myself, leave aside all your claims. Something happened to me that annoyed me. What is annoyance? Who are you? So somebody may say to you very bad things or may not really respect you, etc. Of course, I am a creative being. My relationship and my responsibility is towards my God, not to the people. I'm not expecting any appreciation from people. But in this world, as an abd, as a created being, what am I supposed to do? Okay, rather than getting angry, I have to tell this man, what, you tell me that I am stupid? Maybe, but you have no right to tell me this. So I don't care what you said. Go ahead, man. I will take care of my own stupidity. Leave it to me. Thank you very much. Don't take it seriously. That's it. So simple. Or something doesn't happen. We studied this while we touched upon the important story of Moses and the knowledgeable man from received knowledge from God. It means the man who represents, which is known in the culture as Hudr. So Hudr, he represents God's knowledge in the story, in the symbolic teaching. So in the symbolic teaching, Hudr says, I'm going to do it and you stop. Don't ask questions. Don't put your nose into it. To Moses, the prophet. Look, the prophet cannot keep himself. But said, no, I will do it. You will see it. And it may seem to be not appropriate behavior to you. That is your responsibility. But I am representing God's decision, God's preparations, God's administrations. So you will see at the end, God does always better than what you think of the matter. God does always mean wiser than your wisdom. And at the end explains everything. And Moses says, oh yeah, you are right. I didn't know any of that. But we have to know that our responsibility to act, to take action according to the order of the universe, and not appropriating anything to us. Calm down. I am a created being, and this universe is an owner. You are not the owner of yourself. This kind of a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, I seek refuge with God. What does it mean? I should remember my creator, who is my owner. I am not my owner. I am not the source of my honor. My creator is the source of my honor. Or I am not the guarantor of my expectations. I am a beggar by choosing what I want to do according to my knowledge, and decision must be done by the creator, who is all-wise and all-knowing. So, وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلِيمًا حَكِيمًا. Where was it? Yeah, in 76, Insan. Section Insan, 76, somewhere towards the end. If you see, look, you cannot will, you cannot choose unless I will. So, but God wills. But never forget that Inna Allah aliman hakima. God has the full knowledge of everything, and God has the full wisdom over his actions. He doesn't do anything unjust. He doesn't do anything stupid, meaningless, with wisdom. Trust God. That is why A'udhu Billah means this. I seek refuge with God. It means with the belief in God. Is it true or not? The creator of the universe. Does he know everything? Is there anything in the creation which has no wisdom at all in it? Or less wisdom? No, everything is perfect. Only human beings mess up with his creation. But at the end, he turns out, again, for example, I hurt my feet now, and God said, okay, I'll create the result of it, so you will know that you won't do it again, the same thing. Yeah, I took my lesson. All right, inshallah. And then he says, okay, I will repair it, but don't do it again. He's repairing, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. He's repairing it. How wise is it? He doesn't leave it as it is permanently. No, only death is permanent in this world, bodily death, of course. This kind of analysis need to be remembered. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim is a very important expression, actually. What I would suggest all of us, including myself, to remember, in the morning, or any time really, but especially in the morning, when I'm speaking to myself, but using the word you, when you wake up, including myself here, all right? When you wake up, the first thing you have to think, and your tongue will say, is A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. And then turn to the word Assalamu alaikum. A new day. MashaAllah. Perfect creation, perfect recreation, entertainment for me for another day. It is a blessing from my creator. Assalamu alaikum ya ibadallah salihin. What does it mean? All these creatures are ibad. We will see. We will study this verse. Not only human beings are worshippers of God, abd of God. You know the vocabulary. Everything in the heavens and in the earth, all of the creatures are ibad. Assalamu alaikum. You are worshipping, and I want to join you. It is perfect. I want to be one of them with my free will. That is what human being says. I mean, too much I talk. So, Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum ya ibadallah salihin. You know, while you are reciting, when you sit during the prayer, التحيات لله التحيات الصلوات الطيب المباركات الطيبات لله السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. That means this. Companions of the Prophet asked the Prophet, who are these ibadullah salihin? Salih, pure, unsoiled worshippers of God. The Prophet explained to them with one sign. Let me put this here. Samawat and Ard. Because those people can understand Sama as godly, heavenly creatures. But in fact, now we understand heavenly, godly creatures are all creatures, including the earth. So all creatures, now we can understand it, as the Quran describes it. Yeah. Men fi samawati wal ardi ibad. Ibadi, my ibad. We will study this verse, inshallah, sometime soon, inshallah. So, and then let's talk about how to start the day practically. How to start the day practically. A'udhu billah. Assalamu alaikum ya ibadallahi salihin. And one salawat is our due now. Why? It is a responsibility. This understanding of meaningful creation that we have because of the service of the Prophet Muhammad. How can you not remember and be thankful, grateful to him? How can you ask Allah and tell him, I am very pleased with the message he brought it to me, you employed him and he conveyed to me, struggled all over his life to convey this message to me and all the people who followed him. They need thanking as well. So as Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali wa ashabi wa etba'i Muhammad. All those people who follow the path of the Prophet, please be pleased with them. I pray to you for them. So I am happy with them. And because of their transformation of the message to me, I am comfortable and enjoying the creation. The universe becomes then a place of entertainment. Alhamdulillah. So these are the practical solutions I can think of. First of all, A'udhu billah is important. I repeat it myself twice. That's enough. Inshallah, think about it, and we can find some solutions. Pray. Oh, we cannot solve our problems. We have to seek refuge with God. God will solve our problems. It means belief in God solves our problems. I will repeat. Belief in God, remembering this belief at the moment of our problems, solves our problems, inshallah. So, we learned that Satan is not mushrik. We can be mushrik, but Satan is not. Perfect, mashallah. I understand that the interesting, this symbolic teaching of the Quran, when the symbolic teaching put into a real form, then everything becomes external to us. That is wrong. Inshallah. Would you, anything, would you like to say anything more so that before starting the story of Mary, just we will we will have time to introduce the section, inshallah. Anything more? Okay. I'll stop here, go back. Oh. Oh. All right. Now, this one should be closed, and then this one should come. What's that? No. All right. Here we go. Huh. Don't laugh at me. I make it pink. So I am not a woman. I don't know woman feeling, but I hear that pink, the most lovable color by ladies. Our friends should tell me whether it's true or not. The story of Mary in the Quran. Now, like every other verse, like every other verse of the Quran, if we are careful about the meaning, how they refer to my life, I'm not, be careful, I'm not saying we have to analyze the words. That is another subject, rhetoric side of the Quran. That is not our matter. If we go in the rhetoric side of the Quran, we cannot move even one verse a day, almost impossible. So it is so deep, and I'm not very much qualified in this field at all. Just a little bit, I can guess something is going on here from my readings, but I'm not specialized there. But all my energy is concentrated on how can I relate this phrase to my practical life. Then it becomes another ocean in front of us. That is enough for me, and practically I need that one. So the story of Mary in the Quran is very interesting, very important. First of all, among the people in general, especially, for example, women folks don't have a prejudice about men. I mean, there are a handful of people who claim to be feminists or something, but still, but what is common among the people, men folks have prejudice about women. It is worldwide, historically. Romans didn't really treat women as a human being. they counted women like animals, a part of the land, and slaves as well. But it's not only Roman, because the history of Roman is known to us. That's what we know. Majority of the history of human beings usually do not regard women as respectful creatures like any honorable human being, equally. What the Quran does to break this tradition and teach human beings and brings up a story of a lady, woman, and puts her in such a higher position, even higher than the men, higher than the boys and the women, Mary. So Mary's mother will be told this, and we will study that, inshallah. So exciting. And a section of the Quran, which is beautifully like how do you say, a bunch of flower like verses. The rhetoric of the verse, music of the verses of the story of Mary, poetry of the verses of the story of Mary is so delicate. And then you remember that this beauty can only be appreciated by women. Because I know in my relationship with my wife, I don't pay attention the beautiful looking side of the things at all. I look at how strong it is, how durable it is, how cheap it is, or according to value, of course. But my wife looks at it, how beautiful looking it is, how well colored, well painted, etc. All the color harmony of it, completely complementary to each other. So I say the beauty of the language of this section of the Quran, Maria, section Mary, can only be appreciated fully by women's senses, which I don't have. But I like it, I love it, and really, it is in my intention. I'm sorry I couldn't really memorize it from the beginning to the end, but it is in my program. I wrote it. Memorize section Mary. So lovable. Can you imagine how lovable it will be for women's senses? Oh man, that is one side. But women is not Mary. Some people say, look, Mary is the most virtuous woman. I say, excuse me, not really. Why? Mary is the most virtuous, symbolic mankind. Well, there are prophets. Yeah. But none of the prophets gave birth to another prophet. Mary did. None of the prophets gave birth with the God's spirit, a birth of a prophet, fully prophet, while or as soon as is born. All the prophets were appointed later on. Mary's son is appointed as a prophet as soon as he was born. What? So Mary is a very exceptional case in the teachings of the Quran, and it's an example. Oh, somebody may say, oh, I am not married. No, you can benefit from her virtues, inshallah. So it is a symbol of perfect human being. But every human being is perfect, okay, but submission, complete, one is surrendered herself to God completely, so that God breathed into her, not only her spirit, like you and me, but her pregnancy as well, directly under God's interference, with no causal chain. All of us are born from mother and father relationship, but Mary gave birth to a child with no father relationship, directly God's creation. So blessed example. I was really looking forward to study this section, the story of Mary, not the section Mary. Don't be confused. We are not going to study the section Mary, section of the Qur'an Mary. No, only the pieces related to the life of Mary or the quality of Mary, inshallah, like we did. For example, we studied the story of the Prophet Yusuf. We studied mostly from the section Yusuf, but we didn't study Yusuf, the section Yusuf, because our aim is to study the stories of the prophetic traditions or prophetic lives. So the practical side, the other is something else. That is also correct, but something else. Okay. Shall we stop here? We have a lot to say about this story of Mary. Inshallah, next week, because the time is up. Inshallah, next week we will jump into the verses studying Mary, and inshallah we will concentrate and try to benefit from it. Any comment, question, concern, reflections? Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين، بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.